Get comfortable with English in comfort. This is your English listening practice podcast to help you learn and improve naturally.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English in Comfort. I'm Anna.
And I'm James. We are so happy you are here with us today for another really interesting episode.
You know, James, for a very long time, I had an idea in my head. I used to think that some people are just born being smart, and some people are not.
I think a lot of people feel that way, like it's something you just are and you can't change it.
I really believed that. But then, a little while ago, I changed my mind.
Really? What happened?
Well, I started a small experiment. I decided to change just one habit a week. Just one small thing.
And what happened?
It was amazing. After a few weeks, I felt different. Everything started to feel clearer. My head felt less noisy, and it completely changed my way of thinking about, well, everything.
Well, that's a powerful change from just one small habit. So, what was it? What was that habit you changed?
Well, you might have to stick with us and I'll tell you. But don't worry, because today we have gathered 7 daily habits you need to start doing right now that will make you smarter, feel clearer, and more focused.
That's right. These are practical things that anyone can start doing. So, get comfortable, grab your tea, and let's get started. Okay, so what is the first daily habit to help us feel smarter?
Our first habit is really the simplest, but also the most effective one. It's simply staying curious.
Stay curious. It's the perfect way to start, and everyone can relate to this. We are all born curious, but sometimes as we get older, we kind of let that feeling go.
And that's the real secret, isn't it? What makes a person smarter isn't always that they know more than you. It's that they wanted to know more. They stayed curious.
That is such a great point. Let's think about an example. Imagine 2 people stumble upon a question, and neither of them knows the answer.
So they both have the same problem. They're both stuck.
Right? Now, the first person just moves on. They say, "Oh, I don't know," and they forget about it. It's the easy path. But the other person, they decide to keep looking for the answer. They feel that little itch of curiosity. So they use their phone, they read an article, they ask someone, and they find the answer.
The important part is both of them started in the same place, but only one of them chose to act on their curiosity.
And in that small moment, they became a little bit smarter. That's the habit.
So, if you want to be smarter, you have to make curiosity your daily habit. It's about asking questions in your everyday life, even simple ones. Let me give you some examples. Let's say you're cooking a new recipe. Don't just follow the steps. Be curious. Ask, why does this ingredient make the food taste this way? What happens if I add less oil? Is this okay to add?
That's a great one. Or let's say, you buy something new, like a new plant for your house. Don't just put water on it. Be curious. Ask, what kind of light does this plant really need? Where in the world does it come from?
Exactly. Or you hear a new word in English. Don't just ignore it. Be curious. Look it up. It's about choosing to find the answer instead of just moving on.
That's a simple change, but it does make a huge difference. Just choosing to be curious.
It really does. And that habit of staying curious leads us to our second habit. Curiosity is the question, so the next habit must be the answer. The part where you go and find the answer.
Exactly. You have to feed that curiosity with information. So our second habit is learn a little every day. On purpose.
On purpose. It means you are making a choice to learn something.
Yes. And we're not talking about sitting down for 3 hours to study like you're in school. It's a daily habit, so it has to be small and manageable.
Right. Like when you hear that new English word, don't just let it pass by. Take 1 minute on purpose and look it up. That is the habit.
Or it can be a little more planned too. For example, if you're interested in history or art, you could decide to spend just 5 minutes every morning.
Just 5 minutes to learn one small new fact about that topic. Not a whole book, just one small thing.
That sounds so manageable. It's not scary at all. And the effect of this must add up so quickly.
It does. And it's not just about building your knowledge. More importantly, you are training your brain. You're teaching your brain that you are a person who finds answers. You're building a habit of learning, and that makes you more confident. And of course, smarter.
Imagine all the new things you will know if you just do it daily. You don't have to learn everything in one day. You just have to learn something. First, be curious. And second, feed that curiosity.
I love that. So, we are staying curious and we are learning a new little thing every single day. But here's a new question. How do we keep that new information? How do we make sure we don't forget it the next day?
Well, you need a way to lock it in. And this leads us to our third habit, which might be the most powerful one. Teach what you learn.
You know, there is a famous saying that goes, "You don't really know something until you can explain it simply."
That is so true. When you try to teach something, you discover very quickly if you really understand it or not.
That is because to explain it to someone else, you have to organize your thoughts. You have to find the simple words. And that is what makes the information stick in your own brain.
It's the best way to remember.
I can give you an example. You know, James, today, just before we started working, I learned a new fun fact.
Oh, really? Okay, teach me. What is it?
I learned that a strawberry is not actually a berry, but a banana is a berry.
What? No, that can't be right. A banana is a berry?
Yes, I just learned it. And because I knew I was going to tell you, I had to remember why. It's because, scientifically, a berry is a fruit that comes from a single flower with one ovary. And bananas fit that, but strawberries don't.
Wow. Okay, my mind is a little bit blown, but you prove the point.
Right? The act of preparing to teach you that fact is what made me remember it. Teaching something we just learned makes us remember it so much better.
It's as simple as telling a friend or your family member at dinner, "Hey, I learned a really interesting thing today."
And just like that, you are teaching. And you are locking in your own learning. Okay, our fourth habit is one that I think is so important for our modern world. It is read instead of scrolling.
And it's so hard, isn't it? It's just so easy. It's a reflex. You have 5 minutes of free time, and the first thing you do is pick up your phone. We all do it. I do it. You do it. And we tell ourselves, "I'm just relaxing for a minute." But let's be honest with ourselves for a second. After you've been scrolling for 20 minutes, how does your brain actually feel?
That's the real question. My brain usually feels noisy and tired. It's not real rest. It's like I've just filled my head with a lot of fast, loud, and repetitive information.
Exactly. It's not calm. It's not nutritious. And that's where this habit comes in. Reading is the opposite.
It is. Scrolling is passive. You just let information wash over you. But reading a book or even a good long article is active.
That's a great point. When you read, your brain has to work, but in a good, healthy way. It has to build the pictures, follow the story, and understand new ideas.
It's like a peaceful exercise for your mind. It's a way to get calm and be focused at the same time.
It's the difference between eating junk food and eating a healthy meal. The junk food is easy, but the healthy meal makes you feel better. Reading is the healthy meal for your brain.
By the way, we're not saying you must never scroll again. That's not realistic.
No, not at all. This is just a gentle invitation. It's a habit to try.
Just try, next time you have 10 minutes, to make that different choice. Put the phone down, maybe make a cup of tea, and just pick up a book instead.
Even for just 5 minutes. You might find that those 5 minutes of reading make your brain feel more awake and more at peace than 20 minutes of scrolling.
That's such a practical tip. Now, let's move to our next habit. It's about focus. I think there's a big misunderstanding about what being smart looks like.
I think I know what you mean. We think smart means your brain is very fast, doing hundreds of things at once, remembering all these words and facts.
True. We think it's about multitasking. But real, deep thinking, it doesn't work that way. Your brain needs space.
So this habit is about giving your brain that space. Our next habit is focus on one thing at a time.
Just one. It's so simple, but it's so hard in our modern world. But it's a true secret to learning.
You're right. It's not about knowing hundreds of different facts at once. It's about your ability to focus on one single thing and give it your full attention.
When you're working on a task, just work on that task. When you are reading, just read.
And once you are done, then you can move on to the next thing, but not before.
This is so important. You have to let your brain have some time to focus and absorb the information well. When you are constantly switching, your brain can't build strong connections.
It's like trying to listen to 5 teachers at the same time. You won't hear any of them clearly.
That's a perfect example. So, the habit is to be kind to your brain. Just give it one job to do. And speaking of our brain and how it works, that leads us directly to our next habit, which is the habit I mentioned at the beginning. The habit that changed my thinking. Move, rest, and feed your brain.
That's interesting. It doesn't sound like one habit, though. That sounds like 3 habits.
Well, technically, yes. But they all focus on one single thing, our brain. Taking care of your body is one of the best ways to take care of your mind. We often forget that our brain is a physical part of our body, not just thoughts. That is what I changed and did as my daily routine. Just taking care of my body and mind.
That's a great point. If your body feels tired, your brain does too.
Exactly. And that's why the first part is movement. I was amazed. I found that moving and exercising just a little bit each day helped me feel so much more focused and concentrated. I just felt less stressed.
It's so true. They always say movement is food for the mind. It gets blood and oxygen flowing.
And speaking of food, James, the second part is literally feeding your brain. Eating the right food and drinking enough water was also life-changing for my energy and my focus.
It makes sense. Our brain uses so much of our daily energy. It needs good, healthy fuel.
And the final part, which is just as important as the others, is rest. Not just sleep, but having time to relax, to do nothing, to just wind down.
So, move, rest, and feed. It's the full package for taking care of the physical you.
It is. So, if you are listening to this and you want to feel smarter, clearer, and more focused, how about you think about starting to move your body more?
You don't have to go run a marathon. It can be simple. Maybe just stretch for 5 minutes in the morning.
Yes. Or make some small changes to your daily food intakes. Maybe add one more vegetable to your lunch, or hydrate yourself by drinking 1 extra glass of water.
And make sure you are resting too. Taking a real break without scrolling.
All of these small physical helps the brain work at its best. It's not a magic trick, it's just taking care of your body so your mind can be clear.
It's a powerful and very meaningful habit to build.
That's a powerful combination. So, we've stayed curious, we've learned new things, we've taught them, we've read, we've focused, and we've taken care of our physical brain.
It's a full day. And that leads us to our seventh and final habit. This one is the best for ending your day. It's all about finishing with reflection.
This is such a peaceful and powerful habit. The idea is to think about your day before it ends.
There's a wonderful quote that says, "Before you sleep, gather your thoughts." That's how you grow wiser each day.
That's exactly it. Grow wiser. This isn't about being smart like a computer. It's about being wise as a person.
So, what does this look like? You don't need a special journal. You can just lie in bed for 2 minutes and gently reflect about your day.
You can ask yourself a few simple questions. For example, start with what we learned today. What is something new I learned today?
That's a great one. It helps you lock in that new knowledge. You could also ask, what is something I regretted? Or what is something I wish I did differently?
That's a brave question, but it's so important. And to balance it, you could also ask, what happened today that made me smile?
I love that. So, why does this help us grow smarter and better? Because it's the habit of understanding your own life. When you ask what you learned, you are practicing the habit we talked about. Teach what you learn, but you are teaching yourself.
And when you ask what you regretted, you're not being negative. You're finding a lesson. You're figuring out how to be a little better tomorrow.
Exactly. You are learning from yourself. This habit helps you understand your own actions, your own feelings, and your own progress. It's the final step that turns a normal day into a day of growth. That is a beautiful way to get smarter.
And that is all for today. 7 daily habits that can help you feel smarter.
We really hope you enjoyed this conversation. And now we would love to hear from you. What is one tiny habit you are going to try this week?
Or do you have your own special habit that makes you feel smarter? Please let us know in the comments below. We truly love reading all of your ideas.
For more conversations just like this one, and for more everyday English and listening and speaking practice, be sure to subscribe to English in Comfort.
Thank you for spending your time with us today and for letting us be part of your learning journey.
Keep practicing, keep improving, and take care, everyone.